we have together come up with a document that we've shared in the groups, the Zoom group, the WhatsApp group, on how this product should be used, what to expect, what to do, how to combine and all. But we still have this problem that people don't really want to read. Is something everybody is still trying to imbibe into all of us. We, at every point in time, a lot of us are victim of this not wanting to read. So I just briefly want to run through this today. It's going to be a continuous theme in our various teams. I'm sure every leader will always ensure that we understand this, even with the little we do today. It should be something that we keep refreshing about, so we can understand what to combine and what not to combine, and what does what at every point in time. So these are the products we have. We know the Reader Bitters, we know the supplement, we know the cleanser, the restore, the fat burner, the fire. Those are the basic ones that need prescription or recommendation and dosage. Others like the hygiene one, everybody can practically use that one and do whatever they want to do with them. So I'm going to just watch my screen as I go ahead. So let's start with our first product. Let's start with the first product, which is the Bitters, the Reader Herbal Bitters. You can see that from the slide. Please, if you are my co-host, help me in admitting people in, so I don't have to keep doing this because it's obstructing my screen. So we start with the Reader Herbal Bitters, our very famous Reader Herbal Bitters. This product is going to collect an award at the end of this year. I don't know who is going to give it, but it has to take an award because of a lot of things that we've been seeing it do. And a lot of my colleagues have even been taking me on these products, that how can I be openly endorsing this and blah, blah, blah. But I have my facts, I have my research, so I'm not bothered. Anybody that wants to listen, I will explain and show them the reason why I'm doing this. So this is the Reader Herbal Bitters. How do you use it? Do you have to consider the size of the person? Do you have to consider the weight? Do you have to consider the age? Yes, we always advocate for, one, don't use it for anybody that is less than 4 years. Because at this age, we are not still so sure of how the body is going to react to it. We are not still so sure how the body is going to metabolize it. So we always advise that anybody that is less than 4, you don't use the Reader Bitters for such person. And we know it comes in liquid and in capsules. So I'm talking of the liquid right now. So our recommended dosage for this Reader Herbal Bitters is 10 to 20 mils daily. 10 to 20 mils daily. That is the recommended dosage for the bitters. So it depends on other factors that will determine if you are going to take 10, if you are going to take 20 mils. Personally, I take more than 20 mils because I've been taking it for a while, and there was a time I was even taking up to 30 mils. I'm not saying we should take 30 mils, but the recommended dose that we are prescribing is 10 to 20 mils. And you take it 1 hour before meal or 1 hour after meal. Then for children that is from 4 to 10 years, you do 5 meals. You do 5 meals 3 times a week. Let's know this. For adults, it's daily. For children, it's 3 times. For children of 4 to 10, it's 3 times a week. So that means you can use today, you skip tomorrow, use next tomorrow, you skip like that till you use it 3 times a week. So that's that for the Reader Herbal Bitters. Then for 11 to 14 years of the same product, the Reader Herbal Bitters, we advocate you do 5 meals twice daily. So instead of adult that we do 5 meals, 10 to 20 meals, this one will say 5 meals morning and night for children of the age 11 to 14 years. Please let us note all these things. Let's note all these things. These slides are available. They are in the Telegram group. You can always download, because it's important all of us have this slide if we are going to be prescribing these products to our clients in various places where they are. So 11 to 14 years, I say 5 meals twice daily for that particular age group. And elderly, the elderly are a particular special type of people that we need to pay a lot of consideration to, based on quite a lot of interesting things that happens in that age group. Those age group are the ones that are prone to hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, strokes, and everything. They are prone to falls, they are prone to obesity, they are prone to all of things, osteoporosis, and everything is. So these are a special group of people, and we have to be very careful when we give them to. So because of that, we don't want to give them exceeding high doses. So we start by giving them 10 meals too. 10 meals, morning and night. You can see almost a similarity between that age group and the younger age group. We are adjusting it, but this time around a little bit higher than the younger age group. So 10 meals, morning and night for that age group. And remember, it is 1 hour before breakfast and 1 hour after dinner. Okay? Then another interesting question that most of us will have is that, can we combine this with when they are using the normal drugs? Because at this stage, most of them have hypertension or diabetes. Yes, you can combine, but we always advocate that you leave between 1 to 2 hours from the use of other drugs. Maybe the person is on amlodipine for hypertension or is on glucophage for diabetes. So let them leave at least 2 hours. If the person is going to sleep early and you are scared of the sleeping time and all that, maybe let's do minimum of 1 hour. But we advocate 2 hours. You leave that space before either they use bitters, then they now use their drug, or they use their drug, they now use bitter. But leave those gaps because the body would have been able to metabolize the drug, so there's not going to be a drug-drug interaction. So that is that for the breeder herbal bitters. So I go to the capsule. The capsule too is the same thing as the bitters, but this time around, because it's capsulated, we have to do 1 or 2 dosage adjustments. So for adults, we say that you use twice a day, morning and night. So it's either you use before breakfast or after dinner. The same thing with the bitters, either 1 capsule or 2 capsules. I've been advocating for 2 capsules in recent times because I've noticed that the effect is quite fast when you do 2 of that capsule daily, morning and night. I've always been taking the bitters, but recently I started taking the capsule. And I think the first time I started the capsule last week, and I've been seeing that it's really very potent. I interacted with some distributors and they were giving me their testimony about the capsule. So I decided to start using the capsule for myself, because in this business, you have to practice what you preach. You don't tell people come and use our products when you yourself have not used it. So presently, I'm experimenting myself with the capsule. So I'm presently on the capsule now. I'm still going to take it this night. So 2 in the morning, 2 in the night for the capsule. And remember, children should not take the capsule. If you can see my annotation, children should not take the capsule. Children less than 15 years, don't prescribe the capsule for children. Okay? So let's go to the variants. We all know what the variants are. Our variants are our fat burner, the restores. We basically have 4 of those variants. So let's go to the variants. This discussion is not going to be so long, except if there are questions that is going to make it long. But if it's something everybody understands, I don't expect us to really spend so much time on this. So the variants. Before I go to that variant, I want us to know something, that anybody using any of our variants, it's always advisable for them to use it together with the bitters. Why? I always say that this bitters is like a medium to potentiate the effect of all our other variants. What does that mean? That means it makes these variants to work better. I give one popular example that is very common to all of us, which is augmentin. Our augmentin is the same thing as amoxil. Why amoxil and augmentin is slightly different is because augmentin now contains what we call the clavulanic acid. That clavulanic acid now makes the augmentin to work better. So a place that amoxil cannot penetrate, the clavulanic acid inside now carry it inside. For example, there's a cell. This cell is what is giving you the disease you are having, and amoxil cannot enter. Because augmentin now have amoxil and augmentin and clavulanic acid, it will now carry it inside. The same thing with our bitters and the variants. These variants have what they do. Yes, we all know that fire is fire. This is this, fat burner is fat burner. All of them have what they do. But when you combine it with the bitters, it makes it to work better, faster, and with good efficacy. So that is why it is advisable that we combine these two together. So the first variant I'm going to talk about now, I'm going to come back to the 90 days plan. I leave that here because I want to finish it before I come back to it. So the first variant I'm going to talk about is the Restore. Let's talk about the Restore. The Restore capsule is what we use for people with infertility. We use it for people that have menstrual irregularities. We use it for people that have osteoporosis, that's elderly, that they are always falling. We use it for those that are postmenopausal. What does postmenopausal mean? People that don't see their period anymore, that they are in menopause. So Restore has been found to work very well for all this because it regulates the hormonal imbalance in people. So that is basically what Restore does. And some of us that have been prescribing this Restore would have heard people saying, it makes me stool, I go to toilet when I use it, the frequency of the toilet is much and all that. So we in the medical team, we have come together and we have agreed that this Restore should not be prescribed to people every day. Don't tell people to be taking the Restore every day, because you know it's supposed to be a daily. It's 1 to 2 capsules daily. But because of this side effects, we have advised that let it be alternate days. If you use it today, don't use it tomorrow. Move to the next day, don't use the following day. So every alternate days, that's when you should use your Restore. And like I said, you don't use the Restore alone. You have to combine it with the bitters. So what that means is that when you use Restore in the morning, use your bitters in the night. Contrary to before that, we are saying use in the morning and night. Now we are saying that use your Restore in the morning, use your bitters in the night, or use your bitters in the morning and use your Restore in the night. Don't use the two at the same time. I need us to follow this. We are going to use the two, but not at the same time. Not I finish my Restore, I'm taking bitters. No. Take your Restore in the morning, take your bitters in the night. I believe we understand that. That is because we are getting more clarity on this product as more people are using it and we are studying more. And so most times we are coming up with new things. So that is the new thing we have done to that Restore. Restore is alternate days, not daily, and don't use it at the same time with the bitters, but you can use it morning and night. That's Restore in the morning, bitters in the night, bitters in the morning, Restore in the night. Alternate days. So that is that with that. So let's go to the cleanser. The cleanser is like our own form of antibiotics, antiviral, antifungal, yeast balance in particular. This product is good for yeast balance. How will you identify someone that needs to balance the yeast system in the body? If you have a friend that keeps having vaginal discharge all the time, virtually all the time, you treat vaginal discharge today, you go back to the lab, you see heartbeat, you go back to see all the time vaginal discharge. Cleanser is the product for such person. Such person has to be on cleanser because one, it is natural. It does not affect you taking your antibiotics if you're on it. This is a natural antibiotics. It is safe, it is quick action, and it covers wide ground. So anybody that is suffering from malaria all the time, suffering from typhoid all the time, suffering from infection all the time, you went through a surgery, the wound is not healing all the time, cleanser is something you can really prescribe for such person. And don't forget again, cleanser capsule is every morning and use the adult dose of the bitter. That means if you use the bitter in the morning, use the cleanser in the night. Never two of them in the morning. So that is that for the cleanser. You use cleanser in the morning, the bitters in the night. Always try to make your people to buy both together. But in case you have a difficult person that doesn't want to buy the two, okay, you can still use your cleanser morning and night. But so far they are combining that too. It should be cleanser in the morning, bitters in the night. In that way, and you can use your cleanser every day. It doesn't have to be alternate days like the Restore. So let's go to the breather fat burner. The fat burner. Some people will tell you that I've been using this fat burner and I've not been losing weight. I want us to pay attention with this fat burner, because we don't want a situation when people say our products are not working. If you follow the things we are saying about this product, you know how to advise your people better based on how to use this. The bitter capsule or the bitter liquid can be used together with your fat burner. But if you are using fat burner and you want to use it for weight loss, don't expect that you are doing the old things you are doing and you expect to get the same results. The fat burner is not going to do your exercise for you. The fat burner is not going to maintain your diet for you. The fat burner is not going to do your lifestyle modification for you. In your journey for weight loss, the weight loss this thing is a journey. In your journey for weight loss, you have to follow some basic things. You must exercise. You must watch your diet. You must not eat anyhow. So don't say because I am on fat burner, I don't have to do all these things anymore. No, you have to do these things. So you must let your clients know these things. And it's because people are funny. They will tell you that you tell your fat burner is going to burn fat and we are not losing fat. You are not losing fat and you are eating heavily. You are not using fat and you are drinking Coke all the time. It's not going to work that way. So let us tell them this. It is very important that they get this message. It is very important. Then apart from that this fat burner is going to make you lose weight, another very important thing that it does to you, it helps you with your cholesterol. This has been tested and trusted. It helps you to lower your cholesterol. So people that have gone to do tests and they say that they have hypercholesterol, your cholesterol level is high, that's why you have hypertension, they have to be on the fat burner, even if such person is not fat. Listen to this. Even if such person is not fat. Why is that important? Because there are some people we call lean obesity. People that are lean and they are still obese. You might go into your weighing scale and check your weight, and it tells you that your weight is fine, or it tells you that you are obese. But because it told you your weight is fine and you are slim, you ignore for you to take care of lifestyle and take care of precaution, forgetting that BMI only check your weight against your height. BMI does not check your visceral fat. It doesn't check your subcutaneous fat. Someone like me that I'm slim, it doesn't mean my cholesterol might not be high. I'm slim because my subcutaneous fat is low. I might have a very high visceral fat, which might make me to have the same problem that obese people might have. So when we identify this kind of people, we advocate that they need to be on fat burner to lower their cholesterol. So how do you know such people? How do you suspect such people? Anybody that has hypertension and diabetes, if they can afford it, let them test their cholesterol level. And if it is high, they need to be on this fat burner, because it's going to help control that fat, either in your visceral and your subcutaneous, lowering your cholesterol and helping your BP and your sugar to come down. So this is very important. Please let us note this. So your fat burner, you are going to use it together with the liquid. So with the liquid, sorry, I'm getting some message, sorry. So you have to use it together with the liquid, the way we said. So you use the liquid in the morning, your fat burner in the night, or fat burner in the morning, your liquid in the night, but never two of them together. So the dosage is 2 capsules daily. 2 capsules daily for your fat burner. So I'm moving on from that. I'm moving to, let's move to the fire. So your fire to, just like the fat burner, is supposed to be twice daily. What do you use the breather fire for? What do you use the breather fire for? As the name implies, this is not just because people want to perform on bed. It does more than that. For those people that have been following the testimony group, if you have been following the testimony group, you will know that it is good for prostate care. Everybody over the age of 45 is supposed to be on this fire, not because you have prostate already or because you cannot perform, because it's going to prevent you from developing prostate issue. So don't wait until you develop prostate issue before you become fire. Fire should be part of your lifestyle product if you are above 45. And some cases we advocate from people from 40 upward. It's something that protects your prostate. That's why it is called prostate care. And for those that have established prostate issue, you combine this fire with the Reader Bitters, either the liquid or the capsule. Either the liquid or the capsule. So how do you use it? Use it twice daily. Then for those with infertility too, try and be of the opinion of always getting the result of the sperm count when you want to start them on fire. It's always good for us to document these things when it's up, so we can monitor if the sperm level is low. For a male that have a low sperm level, you can always monitor it from this fire when they are on it, and it does not stop them from taking whatever product that they are using. And I want to point out something very interesting. There are some medical drugs that we use in treating low sperm count and quality in men medically. There are two that we use. One of them is Manix, one is Adizua. For those that are familiar with this thing, and I can assure you, all these products are herbal. Manix is herbal, Adizua is herbal, and we use these products for boosting sperm count medically, not even in the herbal way now. Those drugs have found their way to enter into the medical space. How did they get there? Because someone pushed it. This should give us confidence for us to be able to push it. It's not going to happen immediately because it's difficult to convince doctors like us about coming into this herbal space. But it's gradual over time we are going to achieve this. But I'm telling you this for us to be confident to be able to put this drug in that same space like all these other drugs that is used in boosting sperm count. It will not just boost the sperm count, it increases the quality of sperm. We have seen cases where a sperm count is lower than what we say it should be, and this person is getting people pregnant. That's because the quality of that sperm is very, very effective. So even if the sperm is a little bit low than what it's supposed to be, if the quality is good, you can still get some results in your infertility management. So that is that about the Reader fire. So which other, there's this we need to know about polypharmacy. What is polypharmacy? Polypharmacy means when you start combining so many products together. When you start combining so many products together, this has a lot of effects because one, it can cause drug-drug interaction. It can even reduce how these drugs are going to work. So we don't imagine someone that is an elderly and you are placing this person on like maybe 6-7 drugs. 6-7 drugs at the same time. This person is not going to be compliant with the drug. He will use this one today, will not use this one tomorrow. He will use this one today, will not use it. The person will get tired of using all the drug all the time. So we say that as much as possible, let us limit the drug that adults are using. Don't let this drug to be too many. So that is why we advocate for polypharmacy. So what makes polypharmacy to happen? Because you see someone that has obesity and the person has infertility. So you want to treat the obesity, you want to treat the infertility. Or you see someone that has poor sperm count and the person is obese. So the person wants to lose weight and he wants to treat the sperm count. So, or the person has infection and some other things. So what we say is that let us take this thing poco a poco. Don't do everything together at a time. If someone has obesity and the person has infertility, you know you want to put the person on fat burner, you want to put the person on restore, you want to put that same person on the bitters. So this is how we advocate that we start. This is how we advocate that we start. Start with the obesity, because the obesity can be the cause of the infertility. If the person has infection, start by treating the infection, because the infection might be the cause of the infertility. So I'm going to take a clinical scenario now. Let's say a patient comes to me, she's 32-year-old. This woman is weighing about 110 kg. She's having a history of vaginal discharge, which has been ongoing, going and coming, and she has not been able to get pregnant. So let's look at that scenario now. There are three problems. This woman is having vaginal discharge that has been coming and going all the time. She is obese because she's weighing 110 kg. Then she has infertility issue. So 3 problems now that we want to handle. How do we approach these things? So let us listen carefully to this. So because these are cases we are going to be seeing, and we have to know how to go about this. The first thing I'm going to do in this case, number 1, I will want to treat the infection first. Why? Because if someone has a vaginal discharge that is not well treated, it can move to the fallopian tubes. And when it moves to the fallopian tube, it can be a cause of infertility. Not just that, if it continues, it can move into the whole body and cause generalized infection to the person. So which one can kill the person faster in all these things? The infection can kill the person faster. So I'm going to start with the infection. So apart from whatever that has been prescribed to this person, I'm not an advocate of you not using your medical treatment. I don't tell people to stop. No. I'll tell them that you can continue the drugs you are using, but this is how you combine our product with what you are using. So I don't always tell people to stop their medication. That is what I do. So when we start with I'll start with the infection. So what do I prescribe? I'm going to prescribe our cleanser. When I start the cleanser, I say, okay, let's use this cleanser for maybe 2 weeks to 30 days. That's, let's say, 2 weeks to 1 month. So depending on the results I'm getting, if you prescribe that, by the time the person use the cleanser for that period, and remember, he's using the cleanser with the bitter. That means he's using cleanser in the morning, then the bitters in night, either capsule or liquid. So after I finish dealing with that infection, I will now move to fat burner, because obesity is another person that can kill this person. Infertility is not going to kill you. The fact that you've not had a child is not going to kill you right now. It's giving you trauma and everything everybody is saying. Yes, that can be managed psychologically. But I'm going to address what is going to kill you first. So I'm going to now move to obesity, because obesity can cause hypertension, it can cause diabetes, it can cause a lot of other cardiovascular diseases. So I'm now going to move to the fat burner after dealing with cleanser. So I'll now come to the fat burner, put this person on fat burner for another 2 to 1 month. When I treat that, I keep checking the weight. If I'm satisfied in that 1 month, I'll move to restore. If I'm not, I'll do another month for us to get weight reduction to a particular degree. I can do that for the 90 days plan with that cleanser, with that fat burner, for me to achieve weight loss, because the weight loss can be a cause of infertility. Always remember, there's no emergency in infertility. Someone that has not given birth, it is not an emergency. It is not just happening. It is not just now the person has not given birth. So don't always be in a hurry to get this thing done for infertility. When you have dealt with the infection, you have dealt with the obesity, then now let's go now to the restore. Then now start this person on restore the way we prescribe with your 90 days plan. And immediately this person stops seeing the menstruation. Let's say the menstruation is not coming again and you suspect that this person is pregnant. Please stop all these products. Don't continue, because we don't use these products either in breastfeeding or in pregnancy. Stop all these products. So the reason to stop polypharmacy, that is why we came out with this outline. The same thing with a man that needs fire and he needs cleanser and he needs this thing. That is the way to approach it. Don't use 2 variants together at the same time. Remember, we are researching all the time. We are coming up with the best way this can be used. So please let us follow this carefully. Okay. So another thing I think we should address is, we always get call all the time. We in the medical team call, and people call us because they don't understand how to use these things that we have put in the Telegram for people to read. People still ask that, when do I use the reader bitters? When do I use the reader bitters? For every time there's an health condition, any health condition at all, your reader bitters is the number 1 point of call out of all these products. Before you now segregate it to, this is the one that needs cleanser, this is the one that needs restore, this is the one that needs. But the first thing is always the Reader Bitters for every ailment because of the oxidative and antioxidative property that it has, and because it helps against oxidative stress. So you always start with your Reader Bitters for everything that someone comes out with. You now combine with the group that they belong to. So that is that. So we have all these things here. Then we have our balm. This balm is very good for headache. It's very good for arthritis. It's very good for musculoskeletal pain. It's very good for flu. And don't let people compare this product with Aboniki balm. Let them know this is not Aboniki balm. This is on a class of its own. We are trying to put this product in the group that it belongs to. So that is what the balm does. And always tell them that the balm can be used at night, morning and night. You can use it to rub the place. I have some friends that they use it in their physiotherapy clinic to take care of their patient that come for maybe they need to do some massaging of all those things. They use the balm in that. So that's the class of this thing the bitters belongs to. So I think that is the summary of what I have for us today. This document is available for everybody. Go to the Telegram group and download it. So at this point in time, we want to entertain questions before we call it a day. So does anybody have any question? The floor is open. Any question?
I just want to make a comment. Thank you very much, Dr. Onifade. It's just an addition, really. I know that one of the things that we have found that the cleanser also helps with is metabolic liver disease. So in those conditions too, we may need to use the cleanser along with the liquid, the Reader Bitters. Just that addition, really. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Yes, I have please. Also, when explaining this, just like Dr. Aina just said, can you also break the English down so that some of us can also understand these medical words? And also, sir, somebody who is having, this condition, what's it called? Hepatitis. Is it hepatitis B or so? I asked him to take bitters, but I discovered that he has to join it with cleanser also. Basically, is that also right?
Okay. Let me answer your question. Okay, as much as possible, I've been trying to run away from a lot of medical words. So metabolic liver disease, what it just means is when your liver is not be able to perform all the functions that it's supposed to do. Your liver is what is involved in breaking down of all the things you eat, and even breaking down some hormones to perform what they are supposed to perform. So the liver is very important to all these things. So if your liver is not doing all those things very well, it's not going to be able to metabolize all those things, and they accumulate, causing jaundice, causing the liver to be big, causing big tummy, causing you to add weight. And some people will think you are enjoying, that's why you are adding weight. Meanwhile, because your liver is packing up. So that is just a layman's word of looking at metabolic liver disease. And then as much as possible, I think I've tried not to use some medical word. So the case of hepatitis B that you mentioned, that you said the person needs to use cleanser and bitters. Yes, we have found out that the cleanser can help in that, especially if it's as a result of infectious. That means if it's infection that causes the hepatitis, because there are some hepatitis that are caused by alcohol. Then we want to now point out something, because this is important, because we need to be informed. So when we are giving our testimonies, we have to give the right one. So people will not look at us as all these people that do advertisements on the bus stop and say they are curing Staphylococcus aureus. So we don't want to be in that brand. I want to do a brief enlightenment about hepatitis B. There are different types of hepatitis B, in the sense that it is still hepatitis B, but they have different way it moves. Some hepatitis will come and it goes on its own. B, without you do anything, it just come and it goes. Then there are some people that they will just become carriers of hepatitis B. They will not show any symptoms. Those are the carriers. We call them the carriers. They will just have it, they will not have any symptoms, but they can infect another person. Then we have some people that will develop what we call the fulminant type of hepatitis. That means they will have it now. Before 1-2 weeks, it can result into death if nothing is done. So it's possible that you start someone on hepatitis treatment, maybe with any of our products, and the result was positive before, and the next time it becomes negative. That person might be having the form that we call the transient type of hepatitis that we just go on his own. Then it's possible that you might have someone that is a chronic carrier, and we look as if he doesn't have this hepatitis again, but it's still a carrier. The person can infect another person. Okay. So there are markers of a way we identify all these things. There are a lot of things we do when we want to manage hepatitis patient. Apart from you just doing hepatitis tests, there are so much more that we do. We do your hepatitis B. Apart from the surface antigen, we do core antigen, we do envelope antigen, we do viral load, we do the liver function test, then we do a liver scan. So we use all these things together to group the patient into different groups. So after grouping them, we now decide that this is what we are going to do for this person. So I just want to point that out. I hope your question has been answered.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doc.
You're welcome.
I think if Doc, sir, I think if you can look at the comment section, people are asking questions there, sir.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Diro, can I ask a question? I was just trying to type now, but is anybody hearing me? Can I go ahead with my question?
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay, Dr. Diro, you said the other time that some people react at the use of Restore, and so because of that, the doctors in-house have come together to advise that we alternate it. So I'm just trying to get a clarification. I've been using it for like one question I want to ask. If one is not trying to get a baby and you don't have any, what other thing does Restore do? I believe it's for women health generally. So I'm not trying to, there's no health condition I'm trying to overcome, but because I believe it's good for women, I'm using it. And because also I can afford, I'm using it. But I'm not trying to have a baby and all that. So I want to be sure I'm on track doing that. Then 2, you said some people have reactions. I've been using it now for, I think I've used like 3, I'm on the 3rd pack now, and I've not had any reaction at all. I use 2 caps at night with Reader capsules at night. I don't use the capsules in the morning because I don't have the luxury of breakfast in the morning, but I take dinner most times. So I take 2 capsules, the Reader capsules, and 2 capsules of Restore. And I've done that. I'm on the 3rd pack, almost done, and I don't have any reaction. So I'm just, I want to find out, would you advise that I stop taking it every day? I should be taking once in 2 days, considering the fact that
for the Restore? For the Restore?
For the Restore, yes. Yes.
Okay. The reason why we came to that conclusion about Restore is for people that are having the reaction. Maybe they are stooling so much and all. So if you are taking it and you are not reacting to it, you know, there's always an exception to these things. If you don't have anything to it, please continue. Don't stop it. Because don't forget that these are natural things to start with. So it's just like you eating your vegetables and we are saying stop eating vegetables when you are not reacting or having anything to it. So don't stop it, please. Continue.
Okay. And it's not limited to people that are trying to have babies, right?
No.
Not at all. Okay. Because I almost got... Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so part of the questions I'm seeing here, someone said, please, if I want to market to a diabetic patient, which do I start with? You know, just like what I said, for anything at all, your point first of call is the bitters. So you start with the bitters for that person. So once the person is on the bitters, if the person is having an infection, because diabetic people always have infection, if there are signs of infection, you can add the cleanser to it. If this person is obese, you can add the fat burner along the line. But your first call for that is always the bitters. So I think we are good. Then another question is, if there is growth near the thyroid, what can the person use? This question is asked by a prospect. Once again, for any ailment at all, your first point of call is always the bitters. Okay? So this person, you have to put the person on the bitters, because what is the pathophysiology of thyroid diseases? Thyroid can be anything. It can be because the person have what you call Hashimoto's disease. It can just be a thyrotoxicosis. It can be quite a lot of things. It can be any of those hormones, either the T3, the T4, the TSH. There are quite a lot of them in that space. So, and all of them have been traced to have an origin to the oxidative stress. And remember that our bitters is a potent antioxidant. So you have to start with the bitters. Okay, I hope that is clear, Ida Florence. Then from Fortuna Bumeri, doctor, please, staphylococcus for 12 years or more. Is this possible? See, the issue of staphylococcus, unfortunately, just like typhoid, people have made so much money from Staphylococcus aureus because everybody wants to treat Staphylococcus aureus. It's not every form of Staphylococcus aureus you want to treat. Staphylococcus aureus is part of what we call the normal body commensals, that they are part of almost everybody will have Staphylococcus aureus in your body. If they take a culture of maybe some part of your skin, some part of your body, you're going to find Staphylococcus aureus there. And at times it might just be a contaminant when these lab people are taking your blood sample or when they are running the test. Okay? It might just be a normal thing because they are regular commensals. So what happens is, when some lab people find it there, they'll say you have staph. If you don't have any symptoms or you don't have a low immunity, staph in your system may not make you sick. It might not even cause anything in your body at all. So if someone has been saying he has staphylococcus for 12 years, is he having any symptoms? What are the symptoms this person is having? Okay? What are the symptoms this person is having? If there are symptoms, then I'll say, okay, I want to treat your staph. If there are no symptoms, I'm not going to treat your staph. So we are saying this so we can position ourselves rightly from we are treating staphylococcus people. That is not who we are. We are marketing lifestyle products. And it is important we know the truth about all these things so we don't put ourselves in that position. So I hope I'm clear, Mrs. Fortuna Bumeri. Thank you. So any other question before I call it a day? Any question? Hello? Hello, yes, I can hear you now. Your network is not clear. I can't hear you very well. You can type it, maybe that will be easier to see. I can't hear you. Your network is not so clear. So CM, I saw the question that should we, yes, if they said this person has staphylococcus for 12 years, if I take blood sample of everybody in this room, in this call today, I will see staph in all of us. We need to ask this person that, is there any symptoms? Do you have any complaint? If this person does not have any complaint, please leave the staph and let the staph be. Staph can be in your body and it's not causing anything. So if you are having a complaint, please let us know. Then we know what we prescribe. But don't forget again, the point first of call for every complaint is always your bitters. Don't forget. So I hope I'm able to answer that.
Hello, Dr. Jerome.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, so I just want to ask this so that, because I know the reason why, I have an idea why the person that is asking. There's a testimony that somebody shared yesterday from a Mrs. Osho in Oshobo. Okay. And the guy was commenting about the fact that he has been treating staphylococcus for the last 12 years. So I think that's where that question is coming from. Okay. So he said he has been treating it and he didn't get any, they sent a report of his medical, So I think if there is more information the person needs to give, then we need to take it back to the person to say, you know what were the symptoms? What exactly were you experiencing? so that people also don't get information that can be misleading for them.
Okay, no, I think I'm going to explain what happened with that testimony. This is what I feel happened with that testimony. And there are two ways because we don't have the full picture. I can't remember if I saw the spam count of that result. I don't know if the spam count is low or not. But if this person has been having staph infection for 12 years and does not have any complaint, and he did a test sometime before that shows the staph is there, then after using reader bitters, he now do a test now that shows it is not there. There are two things that could have happened. Number one, maybe when he takes these reader bitters, the immunity has been boosted. And when the immunity was boosted, the body has been able to fight and clear himself of if this thing is going to give him any complaint or not. And the result came out negative. That's number one. Then number two, if this person is having symptoms, we need to know what the symptoms are and has these symptoms been resolved with the reader bitters, which is possible because he's having symptoms and the symptoms have been treated. So two things, he's having symptoms, the symptom has been treated. He's not having symptoms, the immunity has been boosted. So those are the two scenarios we can have for that testimony. Either he's having symptoms that the symptoms was treated because the immunity has been boosted, or there was no symptoms, but because the immunity is now boosted, they cannot find any commensal of that particular species anymore. And if they have been treating him for the past 12 years, what exactly are they treating? Are they treating him because he has symptoms, or they are treating him because they are just seeing staph? They are just seeing staph without symptoms. So those are the information we need to have. Hello, CM.
I'm with you, Dr. John.
Yes.
I think his major challenge has been, I don't know, I think his major challenge from the way testimony sounded like it was an attempt to get his wife pregnant.
Okay.
That made him to continue to do the test. So possibly something was wrong with his sperm counts.
Okay.
But I don't know. We'll ask them. We just need to ask them. That's what they meant.
Yeah. So if the issue now is infertility issue, the person has been trying to get pregnant and he has not been pregnant. This time around, we now know that, okay, the results are shown that there's no staph there after treatment. So what we now need to now look at, I'm going to go back and look at that result. What I'll now look into now is that, how is the sperm like? Has the sperm been low over that time, even with the results we saw? Is that sperm low? Okay, if the sperm is not low, is the quality of the sperm good? Is the wife himself okay? So that when it comes to infertility, we look at quite a lot of things. I'm going to go through that testimony after this. I think I'm going to get back to the person that shared that testimony. I think that's what I will do. I'll have a discussion with the person that shared that.
Okay. Okay, great.
Okay. So I'm going to hand over to my upline, Dr. Fumi. I know if there's no more question. Hello, Ma, are you there, Ma?
Yes, I'm there. I'm here. There's one more question, though.
Okay.
The person is asking, she's placed an 18-year-old who's having seizures from a birth injury on reader capsules. What other variants can I add? I mean, I guess I can also respond. I mean, I think it's still along the line of what Dr. Onifade said. If the person has other reasons to add anything, then we can add. But I feel that people generally feel that when there's a condition, you must add something. I don't think so necessarily. We just have to look at each individual according to what's going on with them. So if this person is having seizures, is not, has no infection, is not obese, is not infertile, is above, I mean, is 18 years, so he's not an elderly person, I believe that bitters will be fine, but the person should be reviewed after a while. If anything has come up that needs an addition, then that would be done. So that's what that's my response to that. I don't know, Dr. Onifade, do you have any further response before we?
That's it, ma. You are spot on, ma. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you all very much for being part of this. This is very, very important because, like Dr. Onifade said, we receive a lot of calls and messages. We're happy to respond. However, we actually, as the medical team, took so much time to put certain things together, which are available in they're available as documents. So we like to encourage everybody to read them. Of course, some of them we will read and we may not understand. We're happy to answer those questions, but let's read those documents. They will help us greatly. So we thank you all very much for coming. At 6 p.m., we shall be having a meeting for prospects. Please, let's bring our prospects. Let's invite them. Honestly, prospects that listen, many prospects that listen to these Zoom presentations, they sign up. They sign up. So let's fill the room at 6 o'clock. And thank you all very much. Take care and have a wonderful day ahead.
Have you collected your ovens, ma?
I'm actually in Super Hall.
I can see you.
Please don't finish.
I can see you.
Dr.